AOC and OG Bernie Sanders go on CNN Town Hall, and it's a hell of an interview. I suggest you watch the whole thing. I don't have time to go through the entirety of it, but there's quite a few quotable moments in it that I'd like to get to. We'll start off here at the beginning of it. They give a good rundown on what's going on with the government shutdown and who is actually to blame.
It's so great to have both of you here. We have so many audience questions tonight, really good ones. And Senator Sanders, just in terms of how long this shutdown has gone on, you and I have spoken multiple times during this, but we're now on the 15th day. The 9th vote to reopen the government failed. Do you think Speaker Johnson is right when he says that this could be one of the longest government shutdowns in U.S. history?
No. I think the Republicans are catching on that you can't throw 15 million Americans off of the health care they have. And studies indicate that when you do that, some 50,000 Americans a year will die unnecessarily. And then on top of that, just in Vermont today, Caitlin, people in my state and all over this country are beginning to receive notices from insurance companies about what their new premiums will be if we do not stop what Trump is doing. In my state of Vermont, there are people today who receive notices that their premiums are going to quadruple. Some less, 3 times. In my state of Vermont, and again, this is true in many parts of the country, middle-class families will be paying $50,000 a year for health care. Anyone think that's sane? It's not.
Is their way of killing the ACA? I mean, Donald Trump has been trying to do it for as long as he's been in office. The Republican Party have been trying to do this since it was implemented. And I remember back in the day when they first were starting the ACA, and you'd hear all the Republicans talk about death panels. This is just death panels. You're picking and choosing who gets health care. Well, when you are doing a wallet biopsy and you can't afford to pay for your health care and you don't get health care and then you end up dying, who's doing the death panels? Seriously.
Who can afford that? Republicans are catching on. They're playing a losing
I don't know if they're
hand.
catching on.
They are going to come to the table finally and address the health care crisis that they've created.
I hope he's right.
Okay, so you think Republicans will come to the table sooner rather than later. The White House has not indicated as much, and today the budget director, Russ Vought, said that north of 10,000 federal workers could be laid off during this government shutdown. Does that make Democrats rethink their strategy at all?
Russ Vought wants to fire those people. Donald Trump wants to fire those people. They are using the shutdown as an excuse to give them carte blanche to do it. It's all horseshit. They just want to do it. They want to shrink down government to the size where they can drown it in a bathtub, according to Grover Norquist, and it still holds true today.
I think so. I think that what Russ Vought just announced today in the laying off of federal workers, we learned today a judge has put a temporary restraining order because it is likely illegal what he and the Trump administration is doing.
They also shut down measles outbreak, from the CDC, Ebola, the Ebola watch group. They were firing those people. They had to hire them back. They don't care. They're slashing and cutting everything that they can because they hate government. And then they realize, oh my God, some of these things we actually need. Like under the Doge cuts, under Elon Musk, where they got rid of the people that were servicing the nuclear weapons, and then they had to beg and plead for them to come back. These people do not know what the fuck they're doing. All they are doing is cutting into government so they can give huge tax cuts to wealthy people. And by the way, this whole thing that Bernie and AOC and the Democratic Party is trying to do to preserve the subsidies for the ACA is mostly beneficial to Republicans. The majority of people in red states are on the ACA. That means lots of Republican people are benefiting from those subsidies to be able to afford the health care that they can. And if you're paying $300 a month now and they quadruple it, you can't afford that shit. I guess dinner is just over. You get breakfast and lunch and that's it. Good luck with everything else.
The Trump administration, folks like Russ Vought, they think that destroying our health care, making sure that housing is too expensive to live in, that jacking up the costs of our groceries, they think all of this is about hurting Democrats. What they are doing is hurting Americans, and they are hurting this country. And if Mike Johnson wants to say that this shutdown is going to last a long time, it is because he is choosing to punish the American people. And we cannot stand for it, and we cannot allow it. And we also cannot enable it by acquiescing and enabling the behavior of bullies. So it ends.
What Mike Johnson wants to do is for them to sign the continuing resolution and just move on, give up their leverage. That way, all of the cuts that are in the big, beautiful bill continue to be, and everybody else could just go fuck themselves.
Today.
So
if I could just add to something Alexandria said.
Go ahead, Senator.
This is the cynicism of the Speaker of the House. Where are your Republican colleagues tonight? They're back here in Washington negotiating?
That's an excellent question, Bernie. Right now, House Democrats are in Washington, D.C. Senate Democrats are in Washington, D.C. Even Senate Republicans, I believe, are still in Washington, D.C. The only people who are not in Washington, D.C. are the over 200 elected Republicans in the House of Representatives, because Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, refuses to call the House in session. He refuses to also seat Adelita Grijalva because they want to prevent the 218th signature on release of the Epstein Files as well.
She is not lying about that. Mike Johnson is doing everything he can to not seat a duly elected representative. He is denying a district in Arizona their rights to have representation in Washington. He's completely denying it. He's making up bullshit ass excuses for it. I'll get to a clip of him in a minute, but I just wanted her to finish up what she's saying.
I ask you on that because Speaker Johnson was asked about that today, and he said it has nothing to do with that. It's so she can have all the pomp and circumstance that is afforded to most members when they're sworn in. You don't believe that?
No, Mike Johnson has sworn in several members, Republican members, in pro forma sessions. He understands that the importance of this country, the importance of representation, is not about pomp and circumstance. And in fact, it's not just about Representative Grijalva. It's about the over 700,000 people in the state of Arizona, veterans, seniors, teachers, students, who do not have anyone to call in an emergency because their elected representative that has been certified at municipal, state, and the federal level with federal acknowledgement, he refuses to seat a duly elected official here in the House of Representatives.
And that's all about the Epstein Files. Don't let them kid you. It's got nothing to do with the shutdown. It's got nothing to do with the Democrats trying to get subsidies for the ACA or prevent the ending of Medicaid funding $900 billion to the American people. It's got to do with covering Donald Trump's ass and the Epstein Files. Now, there's one other clip I wanted to show you in this. Okay, this is towards the end of it. Like I said, you should watch the whole thing. It's all very good.
Well, look, it is two things. Of course, Alexandria is right. He's the Democratic nominee. How do you not support the Democratic nominee? But more importantly,
who else are we going to support?
I think they're talking about Zoran in this particular case because so many of the Democratic leadership have been pretty mum when it comes to endorsing Zoran Mamdani. And by the way, at this point, it's too little, too fucking late. If Hakeem Jeffries comes out in the next couple of days and endorses Zoran, he didn't do Zoran any favors. He's only doing himself a favor. That way he can say, hey, I did endorse the Democratic nominee. And then he can go back to his big money donors and say, see, I did everything I could to delay in the endorsement. And the only time I endorsed him because Zoran already had the election in the bag.
Great candidate. This should be the model. What we want, we got political problems in America. People are giving up on the political process. He's getting people excited, getting them involved. I would like to see that take place in 50 states in this country.
On that front, we have another question here. Vikram Sardana is a software engineer from Alexandria, Virginia, and you have volunteered for Democratic campaigns. What's your question for Senator Sanders?
Hi. On the issue of healthcare, a lot of the clinics and hospitals that are negatively affected the most under the One Big Beautiful Bill are located in rural, mostly Republican areas. A lot of the increases in Affordable Care Act premiums that Democrats are fighting to prevent are concentrated in more rural Republican areas. If the Republicans are so insistent on sticking it to their own voters on this issue, why don't the Democrats just let them?
I mean, I think Alexandria touched on this before, and that is, we are, one of the things, and this really annoys me about Trump, he's dividing this country. Why would I not? When we hit the road, we were in Idaho, right? It's the most conservative state in America, I think. We had many thousands of people coming out. We are Americans. What, you think I would feel okay if somebody in a Republican state died because they couldn't get health care? I would hope not. I would hope nobody feels that way.
And
Donald
I
Trump
think it
does.
also speaks to a big difference between
They didn't vote for me. I'm only president for people who love me. I'm only president for people who voted for me. God, man, I wish we'd have had Bernie Sanders as president. We'd be in a completely different place. That's what leadership looks like. That's what a politician's supposed to do. He's supposed to be a leader for all Americans, not just the people who kiss your ass and buy your shit products and vote for you.
someone like Trump and someone like me or someone like Bernie, which is that Trump believes that if you don't vote for him, he doesn't have to be your leader. That if you didn't vote for him, that you don't deserve good things to happen to you. I don't care if someone voted for me or not. I don't care if someone is a Republican or an independent or a Democrat. I don't care if someone likes me or not. That will never change the fact that I'm going to fight for them to have health care. I want MAGA to have health care.
Yeah.
I want MAGA to be paid a living wage.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want people who are Democrats, or he doesn't want people based on their political affiliation to benefit. And that is the difference between...
Ultimately, he doesn't really give a shit about Republican voters either. The only time he cares about them is when they're voting for him, or he can put them behind him at a rally and put a hard hat on them and pretend like he gives a shit about coal miners or about working people. He does not give two shits about them. He only cares what you can do for him, what you can buy from him, how you can benefit him in his political endeavors. He does not care about Democrats. He does not care about Republicans. He cares about his bag and he cares about power. And that's it.
a strong man and an authoritarian and a leader of a democracy.
Can I just ask you quickly, though, the president, typically the military wouldn't get paid during a government shutdown, and a program that helps low-income women, moms, and babies, the president has ensured that those two get funded during this government shutdown. Do you support that?
Of course. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. And House Democrats also introduced legislation to make sure that they are paid as well.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me, don't you think? Now let's take a look at the other side and see how reasonable this asshat is. By the way, just a quick reminder, he has an app that he shares with his son that monitors each other's porn intake. Just wanted to throw that in there for funsies, just so you remember. This guy right here, whose wife owns a pray away the gay conversion therapy business, this guy right here, this guy here, who is not allowing any Republican congresspeople to come back because he's doing everything he can to protect a PDF file in Donald Trump and all of the people in the Epstein file. This guy right here, who is chastising everybody on the Democratic side because they are not giving up their leverage and letting Donald Trump use them like a fucking doorknob.
So you've said that you're not going to swear in newly elected Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva until the House returns for regular session and the government reopens. And in point of fact, you could, if you wanted to, swear in Grijalva tomorrow. Her election's now been certified. And you did swear in two members during pro forma sessions because their families were present. Congresswoman-elect Grijalva, her dad's not going to be able to attend the swearing in whenever it happens because he died, as you know. He was a member of Congress. She was elected to fill his seat. This move is delaying her constituents having elected representation. It's also denying her a moment for her to be sworn in to fill her late father's role. And look, I know you a little bit. That must bother you.
No,
Isn't it
it
time just to
doesn't.
swear her in already?
Before he gets into that, I know that Jake is trying to be even-handed and both sidesy with this, but if he knows Mike Johnson, he knows that everything that's about to come out of his face hole is absolute horseshit. And he also knows that this doesn't bother him at all. This is the political game, man. They don't care. They don't care. And this guy doesn't care at all. Non-charismatic asshole.
No, because so much of what you just summarized there is not accurate. Let me tell you what is accurate about it. First of all, I'm following the Pelosi precedent. When my dear friend and colleague from Louisiana...
Y'all remember back in the day when Barack Obama wanted to fill the seat of Antonin Scalia when he passed, and you got Mitch McConnell saying, I'm following the Biden principle. We don't seat a Supreme Court justice in the last year before an election. And then he politicked on that for the entire year. And when Donald Trump took office, there was a big old fat empty seat for Donald Trump to fill. Put it on the flip side. At the end of Donald Trump's term, when he had 3 weeks left in office, Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party seated their last Supreme Court justice. So when he says the Pelosi principle, I don't know what the fuck that is. He just pulled that directly from his rectum, and he's trying to kill him.
Julia Letlow was elected under very similar circumstances in 2021. Her late husband passed away, died of COVID, and they had a special election to fill the seat, and Julia won it. Nancy Pelosi took 25 days to administer the oath to Julia. Now, we didn't have press conferences and go banging on doors and make a big thing of it because we understood that is the regular process and tradition of the House. I am doing exactly the same thing. I have said 1,000 times in response to this, I am happy and anxious to administer the oath to Rep. Grijalva, and we will do that as soon as we return to legislative session. We need Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate to do that. It is ironic that the two senators from Arizona who are making noise about this are voting to keep the government shut down. If they want Rep. Grijalva to take the oath, they can vote. That's Mark Kelly and Gallegos. They can vote to do this. Let me say this right now, though.
Just give up your leverage, give us everything we want, and then we promise, we swear, we pinky promise that we'll swear her in, and then they can do the vote for the Epstein Files. We promise, we promise. Come on, I wouldn't lie to you.
Rep. Grijalva she should be working for her constituents. I don't know what she's doing. I keep seeing their political stunt videos and they're knocking on the door and she's not there. She should be in her office. She's
not in her office because you haven't sworn her in. She's not able to get in the office. She's not allowed to use her office because you haven't sworn her in. You are a lying sack of shit, man, and you fucking know it.
Working or in the district for her constituents. She's already hired 16 staffers. She should be taking constituent calls. She should be directing and helping them.
From what? Her home? She is not allowed to take office yet until you swear her in. It's not a political game. If she's out there filming stuff saying, seat me, Mike Johnson, that's not a political game. That's her telling you to do your fucking job. I don't want to listen anymore to this happy horse shit, but I also wanted to show you this video. But this is him talking some more smack and some more horse shit. While the government is shut down, he's still in Washington, even though the majority of the Republican Congress is out of town. But he's there to field questions and to blame shift onto the Democrats. Who has power right now? The Republican Party. Who's the president? Who runs the House? Who runs the Senate? It is you that is in control of this.
To Chuck Schumer a vote on Obamacare subsidies, and Schumer said no. that happened. Asked Leader Thune about it because they wanted a guaranteed outcome. Here's why we can't do that. Let me say this very clearly and for everyone again. Okay, the Obamacare subsidy issue is not the issue of today. It is in a subsidy that expires December 31. We were always planning to continue the debate and discussion about that issue.
Well, I hate to break it to you, honey, but December 31 is a couple of months away. We're in the middle of October. The enrollment is starting right now. It starts in the last quarter, right now. In the enrollment, this is how much your insurance is going to be now when you do not have the ACA subsidies. The bill is coming due, and it's 3-4 times of what it was before. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
In October and November, ironically, Democrats are taking the time off the clock for us to do that. It's a very complicated, complex matter. There are no income caps on that. By the way, did you know if you're a hardworking taxpayer, middle-class earner and your family struggling to put food on the table, did you know that you are subsidizing wealthy people's health care with that subsidy? You probably didn't. Premiums have risen by some estimates 60% since Obamacare was enacted into law in 2010.
Whose fault is that? It's not the Democrats who want to keep the cost low. It's Republicans who always want to raise the cost. That's you, dog. That's your party.
Now we have to improve it. Republicans are the ones with the ideas to increase access to care, the quality of care, and bring down the cost. Not the Democrats. They're the ones that gave us this problem, and they're the ones that have made it so expensive. Now, we have 535 members between the House and Senate. There's a lot of people in this deliberative body here. That's a very complicated issue. It's not something that four people...
Yeah, but not all of them are in Washington right now because you sent them home. 535 my ass.
We can go into a back room and guarantee an outcome on. It can't be done. It was not possible to be part of the CR, and it is not feasible. It's not appropriate to be on the CR. We require the member-driven consensus process here, and that's what's necessary. So it's not possible for Leader Thune to guarantee to Chuck Schumer some outcome on that because we haven't finished those deliberations. I mean, that's just as simple as it is, and all of you report on the Hill all the time. You know how the process works. So when Leader Thune offered Schumer a vote on the ACA, on the subsidy, without guaranteeing an outcome, Schumer said, nope, no thanks, we'll keep it.
Well, gee whiz, man. What the fuck is the point of having a vote on something if you can't guarantee the outcome? The whole idea is that they will have a grand bargain and then Donald Trump will, behind their back, after the government shutdown is over with and after they've given up their leverage, Donald Trump makes the cuts anyway. Because the Supreme Court has already given him carte blanche to do line item vetoes. So Chuck Schumer's like, I want it in fucking writing that they are not going to go behind Congress's back, who, by the way, has control of the purse. That is supposed to be how it works. Congress has control of the money. But yet Donald Trump is like, sure, give up all your leverage. And then after it's already over with, then I'll just go ahead and make some scratches with a Sharpie. I'll just, no more ACA. No more Medicaid, no more Medicare. Let's see if we can scratch off that Social Security too. Give me a fucking break, man. How are you going to make a deal with somebody when you can't guarantee anything? That's why Chuck said no. Dumbass.
Close, because by the way, remember, every day of the shutdown gets better for us, as Chuck Schumer said, okay? It's not getting better for the American.
That's what Donald Trump said. I mean, they just gave us a gift. I mean, they shut down the government and we get to fire all the people that I always wanted to. I mean, it's almost like they're working for MAGA. Do you even hear the words coming out of your mouth?
People.
Were you not committed to holding a vote on ACA subsidy?
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that, Reed. I said none of us can guarantee an outcome on that. I have said consistently all along, this is part of the deliberative process. We're going to debate and discuss that. And there are debates and discussions going on our side of the aisle and on theirs. But to get everybody together and build that consensus is not possible until we get the government operating again. And
it's not possible to do any of this deliberative body bullshit if half of Congress is out of town. Due to you, Mike Member, Mike Penis, Mike fucking Little Dick Johnson.
Stop holding. I get very upset about that. We stop holding the American people hostage for these ridiculous political games. People see what's going on here. We should not have Border Patrol agents not paid right now because Chuck Schumer wants to pay political games to cover his tail. I don't know how much more simply to say that, and every single one of you know that's exactly what's going on. I don't like being mad, Mike. I want to be happy, Mike. I want to be the happy warrior, but I am so upset about this.
Fuck off, man. Seriously. With all of your nonsense and your bullshit. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, amazingly, are still holding out, although I've heard rumors that a handful of Democrats are starting to waver. They're starting to get a little flaky. They're thinking about giving up. The reason why they have not agreed to this is because you and John Thune in the Senate cannot guarantee anything, because you know that Donald Trump wants to do line item vetoes. So whatever you pass in Congress, Donald Trump would be like, I don't care. Fuck the Constitution. Fuck the rule of law. I am going to get rid of it anyway. And until y'all can get it in writing and actually guarantee that these cuts don't happen, and that the ACA subsidies actually go through, which, by the way, is a huge favor to you. Like the kid said, why not let them do it? But the Democrats actually have principles. We don't want to see anybody lose their health care. We don't want anybody to get sick and die due to the lack of health care. We actually care about all Americans. We want everybody to get higher wages and better health care, better housing, and a better life. I don't dislike people who voted for Donald Trump. Certainly not enough to take away anything that makes their lives better. But this guy is playing, Chuck Schumer playing political games. This guy, Mike Johnson, is Mr. Game Player. He is absolutely full of shit, and the American people fucking know. Oh, God. Anyway, that's the show for the day. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I hope I made you laugh. If you did, if you wouldn't mind, please liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. It helps me out in the algorithmics. And yes, he did invent the internet, algorithmics. Bad dad joke, so sorry. But please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And if you do, I will sing your praises and I will dance at your wedding. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time. You take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.